Hi everyone, you'll have to excuse the mess in the background. It's laundry day today for me, but I thought I'd film my favourite makeup brushes video, and I wanted to film a top 10 makeup brushes, but I tried to pick 10 and I just couldn't, so I just thought I'd mention all of the ones that I really love, and there's a lot more than 10, so I'm going to get right into it. So I'm splitting it up into brands, and the first brand is Real Techniques, and I'm sure we all know and love their brushes by now. I have a lot of them, but these ones are my absolute favourites that I use on a daily basis. The first one is the buffing brush, and I like to use this for my foundation. I don't really use it for anything else. I like to use a flat foundation brush to kind of apply the colour, and then I'll go in with this clean and then kind of really buff around the edges and make sure the foundation is really perfect. You could do that, or you could just use it on its own, and it's really quick and easy. Like in the morning when you're putting your foundation on, you can just kind of buff it in really quick and then your face is flawless and you can be out the door. I love the powder brush. This is one of the more recent additions that I've got. Just a really fat, big, fluffy brush. I wear bronzer kind of all over every day, and this makes it really easy to just kind of buff on really quickly, and I can kind of buff it around my décolletage area, is how you pronounce it, and along my shoulders and my neck, and it just makes it really quick and easy. And all of the Real Techniques brushes are really soft, so they just feel like a little bit of luxury every day. The blush brush is probably my all-time favourite brush from Real Techniques, and probably my favourite brush ever. I just think it's so versatile. I like to use it to powder my foundation, I like to use it for blush along the cheekbone, I'll use it with like a shimmery bronzer to dust over the face, or I'll use a contour powder because it's kind of tapered, you can get it into the contour of the cheek. It just does everything you could want a powder brush to, and I think it's amazing. And this is probably one of the ones I would definitely recommend you get if you're only just getting into makeup brushes. Definitely pick this one up. A brush that I didn't really like when I first got it, but I've learned to love, and now it's one of my most used ones, is the contour brush. At first I thought this was just too small, and I think I only really used it for contour, and I think for contour it can be you have to be a little bit light-handed with it, or else it will kind of mark a line rather than blend out the contour product like this one would. But for a night out I really like it because it's really precise, so you can kind of really get in there and sculpt out the cheekbone. What I mainly use it for though is highlighter and blush. Because it's so small, you can really concentrate the product, so again you can use your blush just right on the top of your cheekbone and it'll just kind of give a more sculpted look rather than putting it all over the apple of the cheek and upwards. My everyday brow brush is the Real Techniques brow brush. This is a lot bigger than traditional kind of angled eyeliner brushes, and that's great for me because I do have some big brows. And I find the smaller ones are a bit too precise sometimes because I don't really want to sculpt and shape my brows because they're already the right shape for me. I just like to kind of fill in little sparse areas and also darken my brows because they're lighter than my hair now I'm dyeing it dark brown. So this is nice and big and just makes the job really quick and easy in the morning. So if you have big brows like me, you might want to get this one. The Deluxe Crease brush is lovely for applying cream eyeshadow, blending in concealer to kind of under the eye or around the nose. Because it's small, you can get into the little areas of the face that you wouldn't necessarily reach with a foundation brush. And I also love for concealer the base shadow brush. This is so kind of fine and it's quite flat and tapered, so this can really get into the corner. Sometimes when you've done your eyeshadow before your foundation and you put your concealer on, you can get that harsh line going up there. I find this really good to kind of blend that line out. And also when I use my Bobbi Brown corrector, I do take it right into the inner corner because I still get a dark shadow there, and this does a really good job of blending the eyeshadow with the corrector and just making it all seamless. A brand I've also talked about a lot and really love is MUA. Their brushes are so affordable, the most affordable brushes I've ever come across, and the quality of them is insane when you think about the price. They're all synthetic, so they're cruelty free, they're really versatile to use with different textures of makeup, and I also find they're much easier to clean, synthetic brushes, so that's why most of my brushes are synthetic. The F1 flat foundation brush they do is really good. I think flat foundation brushes have got a lot of bad rep over the past couple of years with all the like Sigma, Kabuki type buffing brushes that have become so popular, but I like a good old flat foundation brush every now and then. I also love the F6, a nice angled blush contour brush. Does what it says on the tin really. Does blush, does contour, nice angled shape as well, really good for blending. And I love the angled liner that they do, the E7, really nice small liner brush, and the L1. These are £1.50 each I think, and the L1 is great because it goes in on itself. Great for a handbag on a night out if you want to touch up your lipstick. And the E7 is great because you can use it for brows, you can use it to apply eyeshadow as eyeliner, or you could use it for gel liner. A little set that I've loved is the Model's Own travel brushes, and these are cute little neon orange brushes, and they're so small. I didn't realise how small they'd be when I ordered them, but they're great for your handbag and I just use them every day anyway. There's another little angled brush which is nice for eyebrows. There's a tiny little powder brush which is great if you like touching up powder or blush on the go during the day because you don't want to be carrying around a huge powder brush in your bag. There's a little contour brush, great for the crease colour. There's a little flat brush which is supposed to be for packing on shadow, but I use it more often than not for concealer because I like a nice flat brush to pack on my concealer with. And finally there's a little sort of detail brush, I think it'd be called, which I use for lips. Some brushes that I've used for years and still love are some of the E.L.F brushes. There's two from the kind of Essentials range, which is the cheapest range that they do. So again, these are kind of a similar price point to the MUA ones. Their blending brush is lovely and I find it's very small, which I really like because a lot of the time when I'm blending like the edge of a shadow, I only want to blend the edge, I don't want to get rid of the colour that I've put down, and a lot of brushes are kind of a bit too big and fluffy and they just blend too much, if that makes sense. So this is nice and precise, you can just get it where you really want it. And I also love the Crease brush, it's basically a mini version of the blending brush. Really nice to get in the crease or under the eye. And from the E.L.F Studio range, I like the powder brush. I've had this foundation brush for years and it's still going strong, I still really love it. It's kind of really big and dense, much like the Kabuki type foundation brush that I was just talking about. This is really good for blending your foundation really quick and getting a nice flawless finish. Another powder brush that I like is the Complexion brush from E.L.F. Again, all the E.L.F Studio brushes are synthetic, so this is just a really nice soft fluffy powder brush. And I also have the mini sort of face Kabuki brush from the Studio range. and this is so cute. Again, really kind of dense, so many bristles, really densely packed inside. I like this for really kind of dense application of powder if I'm going on a night out and I want to really make sure that my foundation is set and it's going to last a long time, and I really want to mattify it down. I'll push the brush into the compact and press it onto my face rather than swirling it around, and I find that that gets a really good kind of really quite heavy coverage. Don't do that if you want to look really natural, but for some special occasions you want to kind of amp it up, so that's a really good one for that. And obviously it's so tiny that you can keep it in your bag for on the go. I really like that. The 3 brushes that come with the Naked palettes are some of the best brushes I've ever used. The first one comes with just a flat synthetic brush, really good for packing on eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow, concealer, under the eye, around the nose. Really like that one. And the other 2 are double-ended, so you get 2 in 1, which I think is really good. The second one comes again with a flat kind of concealer eyeshadow type brush, and then a nice fluffy brush for blending in. And the third one comes with another flat eyeshadow brush and a kind of soft tapered crease brush, which is really nice because it's flat enough to get into the contours. 2 brushes from the Royal and Langnickel Silk Pro range. I don't know if I said that name right, but 2 brushes that I love are the flat foundation brush that they do and the small Stippler brush. This is one of a few that I own of Stippler brushes, but this is the only one that I like. I like using this for blush, and again, nice and small, you can get into the cheekbone, and the flat foundation brush is really densely packed and just really good quality. 2 eyeshadow brushes that I love using are my MAC 217, of course. I couldn't do a favourite brushes video without mentioning that. But I also like my Sigma E25 blending brush. This is a little mini size. This is a really nice dupe for the MAC one, perhaps if you can't afford it or you want to try something a bit of a similar shape. I just really like them too. They do lots of different things like blending and applying colour, and you can go under the eye with them, and they're just really versatile. So those are all of my absolute favourite brushes, and I know there was a lot, but I think that if you buy really good brushes, then even if you're using kind of cheaper makeup or makeup that's not as good quality, then your makeup will, like your finished look will still look really good, because brushes just help so much in achieving like a really flawless blended finish that cheap brushes and hands and fingers just can't always do. So I really like brushes, and let me know what your favourites are if you do too, and I will see you in my next video.